Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm having some audio problems, people. So let me know if you can hear me. I think I'm having audio problems. It's coming through on my end, but I couldn't hear the music in the system. So can you hear me? Conrad, let me know if you can hear me, Conrad, because I can't hear when I come to the computer. You can? I don't know what happened. The music was playing. I didn't hear a word. So I'm glad you can hear me. This is weird. So I have a bunch of things to talk about, including the squad, which I didn't have in my thumbnail, because this was a Beat JFF meeting. So a couple of things. One is, you know what? I jot down some things. I'm going to go through them first. Come here, do a really good thing. This is a 2-hour program, hour and 50 minutes. So I missed the first part of the game, but you're right. I will start with something else first, then start with NBA, then talk football. I see Musk and Trump fighting. Musk saying Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's why they want to release them. People, this can't get any better. It cannot be any better, people. You know, you have certain days when some things make your day. Bless up Jason Guna, and this is making my day. Trump and Musk in war. There must be a Lord. There must be a Jesus. I must start believing in Jesus. Maybe believe in a God, but you know, so I mean a Jesus thing. I never start believing in something because I don't understand star. Bless up, Michael. Know yourself. Jason Guna, Juras. You know, me down my yard, Juras. I said, me have Mike in front of me now. Me know the other people yard. Bless up, people. It's good to be home. Good to be home. There, we have nothing to talk about now. First, me have beat JFF about certain things, and then we talk about football. And peer mother still me I get to the people. Mother still left, mother still right, mother still center. People vex no mother still. We'll talk about mother still enough, but me talk about some other things first. NBA's finals tonight. Since me I take time to do this, I'm going to miss the first part of the finals tonight, right? Like I miss the first part, and then you can watch second half like me I watch second half. Because nothing going in the first half. First responder said, Kranky, be on your best behavior. Lord, no, sir, I can't. I'm sorry. Today is a day I have to beat. So what me I beat about? Me I start quick because enough to talk about. Me I start quick. Hey, the mic sound good enough, people. It's good if you have my mic back, because you know, so me have no mic more recently. So let me talk about certain things. Busy is not a method. S-technique. I don't wait no man. S-technique. I talk pato. I don't wait no star. I don't wait no man. I'm so jumpy. And I said, wait, I make myself seem old no people. I'm not so jumpy star. I'm not jumping at things. I don't hold up, man. I don't hold up. I'm not jump so. Being on the football. We'll get to the football. Maybe you just be about something we're passionate about. And then we're going to the football. We'll go by the squad. We'll go to the name them. We'll talk about who should be and who should be in. And coach, but I may have blaze you tonight. It will be bad. Hey, JFF may not have engagement done tonight. May I tell you the truth? Because I watched the entire Sportsmac interview. I'll come to that. Let me start, people. Because we only have 2 hours, right? Because I'm not to show more than 2 hours nowadays. Now, to me, there's a war, an unseen war, in my thumbnail between how JFF deal with we as YouTubers, how them deal with traditional media, right? Which I think is unfair. And how things that are work behind the scene. I only deal with the diaspora. More than half of my audience come from diaspora. They don't come from Jamaica. My audience is more 4 main region. 3 places in diaspora: US, Canada, England, and then Jamaica. But most of them are in the US. Probably about 50-something, 60%. So it's mainly diaspora channel at Canada and Canada and England night. So here's my frustration, people. As independent YouTubers, we spend time, effort, and money to try to adapt to what is required to be a quote-unquote media personnel. So we want to be in the media, right? And we do get some treatment from the JFF as being media. We invite to press conferences. But think about this. Since Hagrimson, if I go through all the JFF coaches, when Hagrimson first came on board, I think he did 1 interview with 1 YouTuber, right? And subsequent to that, people don't hit the like button because I'm in a good mood to them. Hit the like button. This new coach, Hagrimson, all the other coach them. Because we did interview when I was on another channel with John Wall, Hagrimson, all of that, right? We had access. Bless up Talawa TV. People, if you have not subscribed to Talawa TV, Crystal, upon it, do our usual thing, do it really well. Go and subscribe. Subscribe and share our channel. Crystal, one of the good people. Them. I mean, I said the rest of the people are not good. I'm just telling you, she's one of the good people, right? Her heart is in the right place. She called out controversial things, which many of we hide from. Because we don't want the flack, or we don't want the smoke. She take the smoke. But you know, a woman now is stronger than man, so that's why that worked that way. Some of it weak. But the favoritism traditional media is not okay. The disrespect for diaspora is not okay. Okay? So let me give you an example. At press conferences nowadays, and the last one was about 30 people. So it's very hard to disseminate questions to all the attendees and have more than 1 questions. But the problem is the coach, and most of the, let me tell you something, most of the questions, the cogent question, the understandable question, the questions which are penetrative come from YouTubers. That is not debatable. They come from YouTubers. Now, because I've observed, at one point I was boycotting, you know, and people pressure me, Kranky, you have to go back, you have to go back, you have to go back. You have to revisit that, people. Our questions are never answered by this coach. Never. You go watch all the press conferences, you go watch his answers. I agree, some of the ones Sports Max he didn't answer and they didn't push back because they had the room to ask him. They're never answered in a cogent, understandable way, or even address the issue. He go off on a tangent. And that's not okay. That's disrespect. The JFF doesn't provide any of the YouTubers that I know of with access to its coaches in its national team or junior team for interviews, but those same individuals get access to the larger traditional network. Who going asking the questions that YouTubers ask, basically. Because I watched the Sports Mag interview. I even wrote down, I have the whole script here in front of me for Sports Max. I'm not going to go through it. They didn't ask 1 question that a YouTuber hasn't asked previously. Secondly, which is important, they didn't ask questions which, you know what? Man, that's different. That I never thought about that. That hit the spot. They also overly focus, almost exclusively, on local players and local talent. So yes, there was question about Antonio. There was question about Ravel. But the question about Ravel was a comparative question between Ravel and Nicholson as to why was kept in, why was kept out. And the coach talked in circles and talked nonsense. Said nothing that made any sense, frankly, about Ravel. Right? And I think even though I have downplayed YouTubers' role in influencing that decision, YouTubers are the ones who ask the questions about Russell, about Ravel, about Mothercell. YouTubers are the ones that keep the JFF on the map. Hey, JFF, you're disrespectful in a star. So I think YouTubers don't get access to these individuals to be able to interview them. We are denied direct interviews with these individuals. There are some individuals in the JFF who have YouTube channels who get that access. So me I get enough beaten after me done this, but me not really caring of people. I saw me live my life, you know. Me have to talk truth to power. Otherwise, I can't live with myself. Me go in bed night time and twist and turn. I mean, when me go bed, me sleep like a baby all the time. It is not okay for YouTubers not to get access. And the JFF use us, just like they do with Diaspora, when they want us. They use us to communicate stuff. They'll bring on their marketing person so we can get access to talk to them and interview them because they want to promote themselves. But when we want access to individuals, like the coach, to ask penetrative questions, to query them, to discern things, to inform the public, we can't get no access. We ain't get no access. And and it's my understanding that the JFF thinks YouTubers are toxic and don't add value. Now, I'm not going to put this to Dennis because I've had a discussion with Dennis. I think Dennis values the YouTubers and he leverages us for a lot of things. The whole streaming service are YouTubers. Where you make money off of now? Promoting is YouTubers. Diaspora is YouTubers. The Diaspora and the YouTubers, which is inclusive YouTubers. I'm not saying local versus international YouTubers or Jamaica versus, get disrespected by the JFF. Part of their notion is that we're toxic. We're trying to hold you accountable. We have you in the press 24/7 about football. And nobody know the football more than the YouTubers. Let me tell you that. Come listen to the traditional media. Not disrespecting them, but YouTubers live and breathe this. There's some YouTuber people on YouTube when I chat who depend every single channel 24/7. That's them entertainment. None of them watch regular TV anymore. And you're disrespecting them. Because when you go to England, fans don't get that same level of disrespect. The fans are the one who shut down the league they were going to have in Europe where they have all the big teams go. Fans shut that down. So fans have influence. The Jamaica fans have no influence. We're being disrespected 24/7. So YouTubers, this is my call to you. I'm going to get to the Diaspora. YouTubers, here's my call to you, YouTubers. Because I'm going to help to lead this. If you guys want to be involved, I think YouTubers should take a break from these press conferences. YouTubers, let me say this again. I know you need content. I know you need access. YouTubers need to come together. We ain't forming no union. And I know it's hard for Jamaicans to get together, even though when I've lived in an environment where only Jamaicans are there. So like Hawaii, for example, it's amazing how Jamaicans get together. We need to boycott some of these press conferences. So I'm calling for YouTubers to join me to boycott some of these press conferences. Let's give the JFF a break. Because they're giving us a permanent break. They don't respect us. I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. They do not respect us. Some of them don't like us. And that goes to traditional media. Because I was told that traditional media despise us. I can understand that because we are competition. We may not have your fancy studio. We may not have your resources. But we're competition. And many of the YouTubers are more informed than you are. And you hate that. And we go to press conferences. We have never gone to a press conference where a YouTuber have him shirt off and him beer chest and he compete upon him chest. We don't do that. We respect the process. We respect the process. We don't go to press conferences with our chest out, naked, half naked. We respect the process. And us YouTubers, we need to stop the infighting. We're fighting over nothing. We're fighting for no reason. We all have the same agenda. We love Jamaica football. We want the football to do well. And we'll be damned if we put up with the crap that we are seeing in the football. We all pressure JFF 24/7 until things change for the right way. We want to hold you accountable. Now, we don't have the power that normally you would have. We're not part of the board. And we'll go to the Diaspora component. But we'll be damned if we put up with this crap that we're seeing. And people like, number of you think say, Chong didn't do a good job. A liar tell. Because they, understand the financial thing. Understand. I had a lot of discussion with Dennis not a lot of discussion, but communication with Dennis behind the scene. Right? I try to communicate with Dennis. I try to communicate with the president once in a while. And Dennis was receptive to, I talked to Kyle, for example. Dennis was receptive to YouTubers, and Dennis was receptive to the Diaspora. And Dennis wanted to embrace all of us and have us being part of the fold. We're going backwards now. We're going in the opposite direction. I'm telling you. Some people are now getting power. They don't like us. They don't want anything to do with us. They don't want to get the information. All the breaking news should go to one source. You see my thumbnail. It should go to the Gleaner. It should go to the Observer. I didn't have them on there. It should go to TVJ, all of them. And people like the Liquor Shot man who beat YouTubers one day and then beat traditional media because they want views. People, we need to stop the nonsense. YouTubers, I'm asking you, please stop the nonsense and work as a collective for a similar or the same agenda. We love the football. We want accountability. We want the football to run right. We don't want anybody to go in there and do things which are inappropriate. We don't want anybody to focus on just local versus diaspora and vice versa. We don't want to hate on local. We don't want to hate on diaspora. We're tired of the nonsense, people. So we come vexed this evening because I was watching the interview, and all I'm thinking about interview is why because not bad word. Why is it that McLaren can be on Sportsmax getting the same bullshit question that we have? Well, no, not bullshit. The same. Excuse my French people. Come vexed, and people say, "Well, Kranky, you're just an angry black man." Yeah, tonight I am an angry black man. Why McLaren can go up on a station? Hey, people, when the Western Parent Conference, who asks the penetrative question then? Who is asking the question that needs to be asked? Who is pushing the envelope to the extreme? No, sometimes we go overboard. But that happens because some of us are new into this environment. Some of us may not have you're going to call it the sophistication of going through school for media. I didn't. So I'm learning on the job. But YouTubers are the ones who are going in there with substance. The traditional media who have all the resources and all the people who have been to UE and all them go school, them come ask them like a flimsy question. Enough of them. Not all of them, but enough of them. Flimsy question. You can't throw a question. Go watch the question that were asked by Sportsmax. And please do a comparative between the question asked by Sportsmax and the question asked by YouTubers. And then come back to me and tell me what question they asked that we didn't ask. Please do. I would love to welcome that. Because a lot of YouTubers live and breathe this. Right? Not necessarily their livelihood, but they live and breathe this. I am so frustrated with the process. I find it disrespectful, disingenuous how the JFF treat us. I've been told, well, the coach wants to, and the person who tell me this information, you all vexed with me, and you may not communicate with me not here. Well, the coach wants to be interviewed by the larger media organization. Really? So then can ask him some nonsense question. So he can't get with him nonsense. The coach keeps on talking. Hey, maybe the coach keeps on talking in circle people. People, let me say this. The coach no answer no question most times. And he talks in giant up. And he talks nonsense a lot of times. And he talks in circles. You go, hey, and people like football guru like beat me. And so I'm angry, I'm this, I'm divisive. Football guru, please go watch the interview and listen to the coach response. The Ravel versus Morrison. The mother still question. So much baloney. And I don't want to come here and beat any one player because I want all the players to do well. But when you select certain players versus others, that's nonsense. When you're trying to balance, half the team is local and half overseas, that's nonsense. Who does that in life? So look at Sharkman or Tracy. You got your balance you want. About 11 and 11 or 11 and 12, you got your balance you want. You got the balance you were looking for in the team. I thought a balanced team was a team that had the players with the capability, that had two people who are good in every position, that had the skill set required in each position to do well. I didn't know the balance was about half born of Jamaica and half born outside of Jamaica. I spent a lot of time watching Madasil in some tapes more recently because I didn't watch the player. I didn't know him. I don't want to go jump on a player. And to me, Madasil is a 10 or 8. Madasil is not even a forward. And there is nobody in Jamaica team, none. All the players, let me see. Now I make no true pass for him. I'm not going to advocate for Madasil here because I don't know him that well, but I got a lot of calls today and people are vexed to them blue with the Madasil thing. And when these players decide, you know what? I don't want to play for Jamaica again. I want to go someplace else. I want to beat them. No for you in the chat. I want to beat them when they've been discriminated against. How can that be okay, people? When they've been discriminated against, I want to beat them. So let's go into the diaspora. JFF, when we spend money and buy them tickets, when we go game, look at the Unity Cup people and the enthusiasm and the love and the support provided. It's not reciprocated. Like you love a woman and she not really like it. She get the friend thing up on the side, but she want to take your resources them. She want, as I said, Jamaica, she want to eat you out. She want to boobs you. They want to buy a ticket. They want to spend $10 a month for their media channel subscription. And then no one with the diaspora. Take 10 years you want to be on the board. 10 years if you live in Jamaica with on the board. For JFF. You want to get a junior team? Nope. You have a quota. So only 7 of them can get in. And diaspora still put up with that bullshit. The discrimination, the disrespect is intolerable. It can't be okay, people. We love the football now. But me not going to JFF press conference. I can't come figure it out. I applied for a JFF pass. I was told it was approved. I can't keep in a pass. Keep it. Keep in the past. Me not come on a press conference. Me not need to know. Me not need the JFF. Me can't do the football without JFF. I have a moratorium to them and me reach a certain level. Me not need the JFF. JFF, me not need you. Just like Bailey telling you don't need you, know. Me I see him, me not need you, know. And most of the YouTubers don't need you, know. They can't do them job. Because I don't give them no information anyway. The only people who get access are the people them in the JFF who have YouTubers, who get access to interview player and interview coach. Them think they're wrong, them think they're unfair, them think they're unjust. And some people not gonna like me after today, and then I'm gonna talk to them after them. People, I tell you the truth, as I stay now, me have to talk truth to power. As me feel like a hypocrite, and me feel like a hypocrite at the pan channel sometimes. People, in life, I live by this motto and this principle and standards. You treat people fairly. You try your best to be a good person, a good citizen, a good human being. You live your life by certain morality, by certain morals, by certain standards, by certain protocols, by certain principles. You really try to do so. Be the best person. Don't be like people like Trump and Musk and them. They are the worst kind of people in the world. You try to just be good to people in general. And do I believe in karma? I don't know. But my hope is that if I live a good life, I will have a good ending. That's how I think about it. I'll have a good ending. I don't believe in looking down on anybody. I don't believe in disrespecting anybody. It may come across that way sometimes if I'm get upset. But I'll be damned if I be used by anybody. And the JFF is using us and think we're all morons. We have a traditional media that allows a person who is the owner of a team, who is the coach of a team, who was the previous general manager of another general manager. I heard Jason going to talk about this today, who is the head of the technical committee and is also doing all these roles. And the traditional media, with people like Maverick, who like run off him goddamn mouth about stuff, talk about Kranky vex with him, kind of come on my channel. Maverick, me don't need you. You just make me vex because you're being a hypocrite. You know, question the man about them conflict where I have. I mean, I said the conflict wrong. Never you know beat him on a conflict. No, the traditional media. I mean, like Ricardo Chambers is a very good person, but Ricardo, I dread to not go on with Ricardo. Those things cannot be okay. That's why Jamaica stay the way it is, people. You guys are not challenging the status quo. You guys are not pushing the envelope. You guys are allowing things to happen. The society will continue to decay, morality-wise, if you don't hold certain standards of morality in place and certain fairness in place. It can't be okay. And some people like JFF who come complain to me, they might do the same thing. Them know better. Some of them who come complain to me. Why, me get some beating after the show, you know. I might always cut out the YouTube thing. Some of them who complain to me, them not know better than the people them who never complain about. And see them at the same. Them at the same. So Diaspora, me not if you stop support the program, you know. But me I cut back my involvement because me can't deal with that star. Diaspora born players. Look what mother sells. If you're a mother sell, and you know you're better than some people in that team, your stats say you're better. And the money I get pick over you. How are you supposed to feel? So we're saying Diaspora people are no feelings. Then we just suck it up and go on. Then go spend time at putting papers and get papers, look up grandmother thing, get them passport, get into the ship, fly to Jamaica, and you get them say, you get on the team because I heard you were going on vacation. Coach, you're a liar, coach. The coach is a liar. Now, this sounds very extreme, Kranky, and you out of order, Kranky. No, him lie, man. Him lie bad. There's a difference between being political, managing information, making sure you're not overstepping. You know, the coach said the other day, the coach said, so you guys keep asking me about Greenwood. The coach said, Greenwood getting papers, them and him soon come. That's what me here, so just want to appease, don't want to ask about Greenwood. No, ask me, ask the coach. And then some people like JFF tell me, and them tell me, some people like JFF, me here say, Greenwood having papers, but no one play for Jamaica. Which one is correct? What the coach said, or what somebody JFF said, these people, this is like what them call, when we call it entanglements, what entanglements? It can't be okay, people. I don't want anybody to use me, so I'm going to stop being used. Nobody use me. JFF, I use the YouTuber them. We are the ones who keep Jamaica football alive. There is no other place I know where so many YouTubers focus on the national team. There are a lot of countries where YouTubers focus on local teams, Man U, Chelsea, PSG, Lyon, all of them, right? Go look at Trinidad. How much YouTubers there at Trinidad that cover football? National team. How much at Grenada? How How much are Barbados? Even the US, for example, they may cover individual team, but you don't have the volume per capita that covers football like we do. So I put up a chat because I know somebody there. Football guru there. Football guru. Sportsmax didn't ask one goddamn question that we haven't asked. None. I liked the interview. It was well conducted. It was professional. People, you have to call the other phone. If you call him, you have to call the other phone. You call the wrong phone. You know, I call the phone. You have to call the wrong phone, people. If you call me, call the other phone. Sportsmax, they were professional. All three of them. They did a good job. But go watch the question them. Because people go watch the question them, football guru. Come and say you. Go watch the question, go listen to the questions, and come back and tell me, do a comparative between what they asked and what was asked. I just unsubscribed. To S-Technic, thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to join you. Hey, what can I say? Oh, you unsubscribe from what? S-Technic. JFF or Kranky Live. But if you're type, I can't Kranky Live. So no, look. We need to stop supporting the nonsense. If you want my support, you gotta treat me like a citizen. You gotta treat me like a person who deserves respect. I'll be damned if I continue to get disrespect. You cater to traditional media. When Maverick called him a vulture, I didn't hear you say Maverick traditional media is toxic. Maverick called him a vulture. I didn't even call him no. I don't hear you guys complain. But I look at YouTube, I don't want to jump on. Only like beat up the small man, sir. Beat up people in one size. Huh? People don't beat up the small man. Beat up people on one size. People may soon come to the comments, but me have a vent first. Okay, this is from Mando. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
This is Cataract the Oligarch.
Cataract. You have under 10 minutes. I mean, no, you'd like talk like, you know. I mean, wait, first of all, at the first of your camera program?
Are you getting Alzheimer's? I called you last week.
Yeah, you called me and I couldn't take your call. No. You're right. No. Let me rephrase that. It's the first time you called me where I can talk to you. That's what I should say. I apologize. You did call me last week when Andre was calling me. But anyway, the floor is yours. Let me stop talking. The floor is yours.
No, I heard your rant against particular conflicts of interest. They continue. But I really also wanted to look at another sport. I won't be long. Jamaica basketball were trying to qualify and for the International Basketball Championships and the Olympics. I was just reading something, it just popped up while you were speaking. They are recruiting 5 NBA players, already having the service of a set of twins. Right?
Yeah, the Thompson twins, yeah.
Yeah, they already have the Thompson twins. So they've gone over 5. Which means there will be, no one is crying out about the youth that have played basketball to Tivoli or running Rebels. Because in what I read, and my cousin played, he's a part of the JBA. He plays for Atlanta Hawks, Johnny. They're concerned with going to the Olympics and winning a medal.
Yeah.
There is none of this xenophobia, arachnophobia, whatever the hell phobia it is. And I'd like to say to first, just stop telling lies, because the truth finds you out. So the last thing that I heard is that the reason why some players can't come in the team and get the thing, the JFF sport team, or persons from the JFF, is that there's a change and there's now a 90-day for your citizenship. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I know that's a FIFA PICA change their rules from a 15 to 90 or something like that. Yeah. But I don't. That's not the It's my understanding. That's not the thing that we're doing this from.
So how the basketball is? Not suffering from it.
Well, they probably more. First of all, we can't confuse two things. The people in the basketball.
No.
Wait. Let me say this. The people in basketball.
Right, I'm listening.
The people in basketball, their leadership are pushing to get these people. The JFF is not pushing to get these people. We got to be clear. Exactly. The JFF personnel who are running the JFF, they're not pushing to bring any diaspora players in. They're not. The push is being done in basketball by those who are leading the basketball. You see their president come out and he talks about it, because I've been watching some of the news conferences. He's a big advocate. He's pushing. He wants to have them. He bring the kids down. They're part of the community. They have to demonstrate certain things, which is required by FIBA. So they're making sure they put all those things in place to make sure they can articulate to people what they're doing to say that, you know what, they're part of the community, part of the basketball. We don't have anybody bringing players down to be engaged or whatever, to have build up and have the profile of the players in the Jamaica community. No, all I hear in the local media is talking about local players. It's about Cephas, it's about Dixon, it's about Nicholson. That's all we hear. Do you hear anybody ask any question about Mothersill or any other player? Did they ask about Brandon Cover? Did they ask about Mothersill? They don't give a damn. The local media don't call about their local interest, which is to get views and to get sponsorship and to make more money. They don't care about the football in its totality and the performance in the field and get the best team. That's not their objective. I need to understand that. The JFF don't like YouTubers because YouTubers going to call them out.
No. So and this again is another sport, but just to show you that when other sports go recruiting, how they do it, right? Because if you remember when I came on Sports Prophecy, and I said that Pika had because they're not going to sit around and be bashed. They had 2 nights. It was a Thursday night and a Friday night on the sports news, where the communications director, PR director of Pika came and spoke about athletes, and in particular footballers, and getting the citizenship and passport. And what resonated with me was the lady said, they keep coming at the last minute. And that it's really the player who comes and is not often assisted. I remember that. So I mean, she didn't say it directly. What I got was that they don't come to like an official line, right? They just come like regular citizens, like regular man. They just roll up on water in Jamaica. And so they have really no way of the prioritizing. And again, I believe, I don't know if it's in place, but I'm asking, with the amount of recruitment that's necessary for women on the 20, on the 23, senior men, etc., is there a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the JFF? Why haven't we had a public signing of that? You see, this is a memorandum of understanding that this agency, these 2 ministries, and the JFF will work together and establish a protocol and a standard operating procedure that deals with the naturalization of elite players who are required for national success. Because there's a difference between who play, out on loan, Ranton who out on loan in a league as a goalkeeper. Not a priority. But Mason Greenwood is a priority. Rico Henry is a priority. Why isn't there a memorandum of understanding, public signing, that we all see that the JFF is seeking to build institutional partners?
I think you'll put together MOU, Cataract, if it's in your best interest. If you don't think it's in the best interest, why would you have it?
Okay.
Right? I mean, people don't seem to realize that how these things work, which is what you're suggesting seems logical, seems reasonable, seems like the approach one would take, but why would you put an MOU in place when that's not what you want? That's not what supposedly your stakeholders want. Right? Your stakeholders want local players in the team. They don't want, as you hear Skill Cole talk about, and you hear other people like Whitmore talk about, a lot of them talk about, they don't want quote unquote foreigners in the team. They want local players in the team. And I understand the need for local players, but you haven't done anything to get the players at the level they need to. The coach told us. The coach told us the players are not at the level they need to be. The coach told us this. The worst thing somebody can tell you and insult you is talk about your education and your intellect. The coach did in this nice British accent. And people seem to going from one year to the next, go over their head. The coach told you people can run fast. They can run fast, they're committed, they can jump high, but they don't have the technical capability, they don't have the spatial awareness, they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the skill set to function at a certain level. That's what the coach basically said. Weren't people listening? Or they just didn't get it? A lot of people got it. I heard other YouTubers talking about it. That's the most damning thing somebody can say to you. You're not smart enough. That's what the coach said. There was no ambiguity in the coach's statement. Right? No ambiguity. Cataract, you fell asleep?
No.
But I'm saying there is no ambiguity.
Lyrically, the conversation is not a great debate.
So you and I was debating, right? Yeah.
Which to date has never been matched on YouTube. All you young ones that have come here chat. No one. That 2 hours of debate has never been matched. It was like the France versus Spain match today. You know. So there are glaring questions. I consider myself, apart from this being a hooligan, an intelligent young man or middle-aged man. And when you say something to me, I'm going to make note. And then I'm going to refer back to that at a future point in time. Now, the court said, and I listened to him, we flew 10 staff and 9 or 10 players so they could get a look at England. Because you could not tell me that you were flying in a player on Friday night to take the pitch against a top 50 ranked team like Nigeria to expect that player would perform.
Here is the hypocrisy. No, sorry, 1 second. Here's the hypocrisy, Cataract.
Right.
When the local team plays against Trinidad in home and away, or no, not home and away, but 2 in Jamaica, we didn't send for any player from England who may be on the cusp of the team or ask them to come play, did we? Maybe they're in the 21 team and they could. We didn't do that. But when we go to England, we have to bring local players there. So there is a double standard in terms of how we do this, and there is the things that people like Football Guru and others who believe that is a bias against local players. Some individuals may have that bias. A lot of people don't have that bias. What they have a bias against is unqualified individuals being given an opportunity at the expense of those who are qualified. That's what they mean bias against.
So I was having a conversation with a gentleman, former top dog at Water Commission, who I would consider the OG in terms of cultures. When I just was working out to be a ultra, he was there as a big man, you know? And a couple times when the dollar shot out there foreign, he put on and said, oh, come have lunch, Cataract, man. That, you know, that they call the Mexican, but I had a big sombrero that I bought in Mexico. No, the Jamaica jersey was a rite of passage. It was a pride. And we look back, I don't know if you remember a defender from Tivoli named Kasai High. Very good defender.
Right.
But he couldn't make the team. Excelled in the JPL, in the JPL. But now the Jamaican jersey, the Jamaican cap, he's being handed out like confetti. You know, like sprinkles when you put on ice cream. Every man have one. Every man is when in the time when man say, oh, national, it meant something. When you look at a JPL match, you could tell the national. Right? So I don't want to stray far. So there's a double standard because on the hard residency, we had the same 2-match series against Trinidad. Right? But Delano Splat, Dante Casanova, Omari Hutchinson, what's the other young kid? I think K-Roy Anderson, Dexter. Oh, I think about 4 or 5 academy players. Boyz class. Those players were invited and they came to Jamaica. Not an overwhelming amount, not 10, not 9, a handful. So that Hargreaves got a chance to look at them and they got a legitimate chance to stake their claim as to whether they were good enough and the coach could assess and have on his first-hand assessment how they may matriculate to senior men's football. Right? But what we see now is a doubling down on the xenophobic approach, which was like, we playing Trinidad. No English born player, none must come here and be in the team or bowl to the squad. We want to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. Everything, 26 man from the JPL. And I think we have all been clear. The JPL does not have 23 international class players.
But here's the thing, Cataract, which I don't understand. So no one is saying JPL players should be given an opportunity. To the contrary, people are pushing that they should go overseas. No, I'm saying no one is saying they shouldn't be getting an opportunity, right? People are pushing, say, you know what, King, if you're good enough, go overseas. Busy, if you're good enough, go overseas, right? People are saying that they want to see that happen. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting the ability to go overseas for whatever reason, you may not be at the level you need to be, and somebody else overseas is playing well and playing at a high level, then why wouldn't they get that opportunity? I hear Football Guru in the chat talking about a number of things, how great the interview was with the coach. And it was a good interview, don't get me wrong. But I go back to the questions that were asked and his answer. Go look at the answer to Ravel versus Nicholson. It was a circuitous nonsense. He didn't answer the question in the way it should be answered. Why you chose Ravel versus Nicholson? He didn't answer the question. When you asked him the question way before, what if does the way you play affect your ability to be selected? He said no. Then he came back and said yes later on, 3 press conferences later. Then a lot of people cry out about Ravel not being there. He brought Ravel in. The man is I don't know what to call him.
So I don't have anything against the coach. Let me tell you, I know that a Jamaican term, people are around the coach head. This was not.
No. He said, people, go watch a press conference because I watched and I have the whole thing in front of me right here. He was asked the question. I forgot the exact word, but I'm gonna paraphrase. Do you pick your team? It was the quickest and shortest answer ever. He's basically saying he's the one who picked the team. First of all, he ain't picked a lot of the teams a lot of times because he don't know the players to pick the team. He might have gotten better to know the players more. But he's basically saying, I picked the team. Nobody else picked the team. That's what he's saying. And it was a quick answer. And he was prepped for that answer.
So let me yes, in my short time, because I promise not to dominate the program, but when the great debaters get together, the facts come. So here's the thing. I'm spinning at where to start. So let me go. You have 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Make it quick. Let me go. No, so please don't interrupt me with anything else from football.
Okay, fine. All right, good. I'll put myself on mute. Go on.
No, go on mute. I just want my 2 minutes that you wasted on the football group. Right?
All right.
So 5 minutes, I was done. So let's go to what is there, right? The Unity Cup consisted of 3 goalkeepers who are all bench players at their respective JPL clubs. Let that sink in.
I thought Davis and Chambers switch positions. They're not right. They're not bench players per se in the traditional sense.
No. When I say but in the last matches leading up,
yeah,
they were on the bench.
Right. Okay.
So spend significant time on the bench. And Shaquan Davis should be in the Unity Cup in England, right? He is a regular,
right,
in the Jamaica national setup and should be there. He represents the club he represents in the JPL. But you cannot tell me that you have Conaya Boys Club, who was also a part, the 4th goalkeeper in that national setup on the residency. And you are coming to the country where he lives. As a matter of fact, he lives minutes from the Brentford Stadium. Right?
Yeah.
And he would not be included in the Unity Cup setup. Can't explain to me. Then the response about Shamar. If Shamar finished April 20th, we were told that the difficulty that we were having was that players were in season and it just come to the end of it and it's too short notice. So why the BBC? Shamar should have been the first name on the sheet then for the Unity Cup because he was available. So the contradiction just stand there. So I sat there with my jaw dropped because I didn't know that Shamar didn't play since April 20th. His league ended April 20th. So why wouldn't he be in a May 26 Unity Cup squad? And he would have had 5 days, 6 days, 7 days to get back into football in shape.
Yeah. The contradiction is even worse than a cataract. You know it's worse? And people go beat me for this, but I never really care. So you said Shamar not getting much playing time, right? You said Shamar is on the bench, right? He may not be fit. Then is Antonio fit?
No, cataract.
Don't be biased. He ain't playing no football. He ain't playing no football since when? Go ahead.
Let me go back. Antonio, I believe, was there.
He ain't playing no football.
Just hold on, man. As a promotion, I believe that there was no intention for Antonio to take the field to be in any squad. Antonio was there. Just bring it.
No, you missed my point. You're not listening.
No.
Antonio is in the Gold Cup squad, isn't he? He's in the Gold Cup squad.
Yes.
He ain't playing no football to be in a Gold Cup squad.
No, but he's in the 6.
He's in the 24 for the Gold Cup. What you talk? He's in the 24 for the Gold Cup squad. What football is he had a chance to play to be in the Gold Cup squad? Please tell me. He's coming off a major accident, life-threatening accident. How can he be in the Gold Cup squad?
Are we talking about the World Cup squad now?
No, I'm talking about the Gold Cup squad. Forget about World Cup squad. The Gold Cup squad, it just come out. Well, whatever. The Gold Cup squad.
It just come out.
He's in the squad. He's in the squad. So we're going to use it. But I'm saying, whether we put whoever in our squad, here's the thing, be consistent in how you treat people and how you approach things. Don't have one for one and one for the other. It's not right.
Okay. And I understand with you. I go inform myself about the Gold Cup squad. I really have not gone through in depth. I didn't know that it dropped. I'm still digesting the World Cup qualifying squad.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When we say that we had 14 players, and we basically that beg man to come play with me, and we flew in Ravel, I would say we want to look at players. Okay. Why I would ask, why wasn't Kemaru fantastic? He had about 6 games for Derby County, 5 games. Could we see how he was? Why wasn't Andre Gray contacted? Why was Andre Gray contacted to come and join the Unity Cup squad and stretch his legs with the Reggae boy? He had a full season where in the Saudi professional league. We're short Warner Brown. When Warner Brown couldn't come and busy. Why weren't those 2 attackers? I mean, drafted him to the first one. My mother still didn't have his paperwork apparently at that time. Right?
Yeah.
The explanations don't make sense.
Yeah, look, if you're picking any team, it's difficult, right? Fans will never have consistent players. What we want,
no.
What we want is consistency. What we want is consistency and fairness. That's what we want.
Kranky,
yeah.
We had places, we had spaces. We went there with not enough players on the bench.
Yeah, we had no forwards at one point. One time we put Greg Lee up front because we had no forwards.
Look here. Why didn't we call Garrett McCleary? He's played a full season for Wickham Wanderers. Reaching the semifinals of the playoffs to come to the championship. If you say, okay, we need some cover. Maybe, brother, maybe you're never going to take the fielder because we have younger legs or whatever. But come bolster the squad.
Yeah. Look, I know that the job of a coach is difficult, but coach, what we're asking the coach to do is this. And I'm not sure people like Football Guru can actually, I'm not going to mention him, but I mentioned because he's the contrarian in the chat, so I mention this. I don't know how you sit down and live with yourself when you see things which are blatantly not right or fair or seem to have any logic to them, and you can actually live with yourself by justifying those situations. I struggle with where's the humanity? Where's the humanity? I struggle.
I don't struggle. Football Guru is the man that is getting bun, and everybody tell him say him wife and him bun, and throw a comes to the yard, and him say no.
I'm not using those analogies, but I would say this.
Yes, because when the obviously stated that's Football Guru, it's there. People say to him, say, bro, you don't say your wife pregnant and you know that you have not been eating that you have for the last 5 years. And he said, no, man,
Cataract. Keep it. This is cataract. This is for teenagers and below. Idiot. Come, cataract. Cataract, you have got to tell them. More people at all. You have 1 more minute. What's your closing comments, Cataract? What's your closing comments?
My closing comment is I went and watched the boys yesterday at training. There were only 3 fans there. Oh, the mighty have fallen. I wish the team well. I wish them safe travel to the BDI. And I look forward to them doing damage to the BDI and getting the necessary number of goals. I'm very scared. That we might come with a 2-0 victory and, hold it into that. So I'm encouraging the team to shoot. Last 30 seconds. Then on Tuesday, okay, fans come to the stadium. Come early, come out to your number. Cataract, Stone Love, boom, boom.
Yeah, man. 3
big souls will be there at the 3 games.
Oh, you're playing?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, good luck. Hope it works out well.
I support the team.
Yeah,
Some people that say they don't carry grudges or whatever. But we're there and we're going to play and we're going to vibes up the crowd and vibes up the team and deal with the matter proper. But fans come out, right?
Yeah.
2 important fixtures. I would like to see 6 points in the bag I'd like to see us kill and cut the goal differential. And I will go and get myself familiarized with the World Cup squad. Yes, sir. So, big up, Sir Kranky, big up the people in the chat, more life, warm, but
yeah, man.
But the face, I get it, and they're foreign. Just keep the gun the way you have a foreign. So much gun and accent from Jamaica.
No, we're not. You know what? May beat the people who do that now.
Keep it over there. Keep it over there.
I agree. I don't want to digress into that. Wait a minute. I don't digress into that, but I agree with you. I agree with you. That's all I say. All right. Catch up. Me have to go. I'm gonna call you. Catch up. I'll take the call. Yeah, man. Bless.
Oh, yeah, man. Big up.
Good night. Who am I speaking to? Cataract, by the way, Cataract, thanks for the call. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, yeah, speak to you. Look a loud mouth friend while with a call with all kind of bang around. By the way, before me even start, because I did see the glasses, everything good with your medical thing, your eyes, everything good now, right?
Everything good, man. Everything good.
Boy, because I tell you, I did worry, because I know, so I have to get up there in the age, two things, them say one thing go first, and then the next thing go second. I'm more than no, actually my doctor told me I need to get surgery actually on my eyes, but that's another story for another day. But no, but you know, no, everything go when you get old, everything go. Yeah. But take care of that still.
Yeah, man.
All right, stay up on top of the game there. All right, now we'll go get down to the look here. I understand all of the half hour, all of the height, tight, and all of them talk, your man who know football. But you want me to tell you something, Kranky?
Yeah.
Our people, have a serious problem. I'm going to tell you the thing. You see, one time we go somewhere because of opportunity, and I say, we really did want to left Jamaica, Is that, boy, not never really a go on for we down there, So we come a foreign land, and God knows we take some blows, Kranky. But all in all, we are still Jamaican, We youth them a Jamaican, We still a cook ackee and saltfish and run down and mackerel, and we still want roast yam and boiled banana. We are still Jamaican. Not because we left Jamaica means that we give up everything from Jamaica. You know one thing what kind of annoy me with the people them down at Jamaica? I mean I tell you, say, every time it's like it boils my blood. It's like all in the one from where money when time when the broke on the desk. The people in my foreign send down a thing, boy, I have nothing, nothing now go on, And when time the remittance come down, unhappy, But I remember, and this is always an ongoing issue, with football. We're never, the man them who come a foreign, never good enough to play football at Jamaica. It's always about, we have to get the local based players because, and God see, I know, Kranky. If it's just the local based players alone play football for Jamaica national team, they're not gonna win. Jamaica would never leave the zone, the CONCACAF. As a matter of fact, I don't even think them could have beat 80. Football has transitioned, and Jamaica is not the only country that has transitioned to get the diaspora involved in playing football for their country or them birth or them parents' birth or wherever I go. They can get a passport, then can play. So you know why boil down to Kranky? At the end of the day, the best player go out there on the field. No matter if he come from England to Timbuktu, he could have come from God knows where. If he's able to play for Jamaica, he have a Jamaica passport, the best man, you put the best 11 and you get the best squad 20 or whatever you want to put out there on the field. Because at the end of the day, when the team win, everybody who never won, the British-based players and the American-based players and the Spain, when the team win and when time they make World Cup, everybody go and raise the flag high and sing Jamaica land we love. Yeah. But the thing that hurt me most of all is, I don't know, the first time, I remember in 1998, when time captain did bring in Dion Burton and Paul Hall and all of them, man, enough man did vex, but the English-based players, they come play for Jamaica, It's the same, pretty much, it's like deja vu. Groundhog's Day, again. Every time that we have make a little stride, everybody come, local based players, skill cool and team nonsense. And he was always a little ragamuffin because he was always an indisciplined player from day one. I know him and make it seem like, well, you know, me a skill cool. And my youth, the object of the game is to win. When we win and we get up into these big tournaments, people get noticed. Now, what you do as a local base player that's on the team, because there's a certain amount of players that has to be there. When you get on the big stage, sure, put your best foot forward. Just like, what my boy who used to play for Harborview, man. I always forget him, bro.
You're talking about Bibi Gardner?
Bibi. Oh, Bibi put him best foot forward and get big contract and go to England, go play and make money and nice. Why them other boy you can't do that? Enough man a play a US and eat a food, you know, and can take care of them family, a foreign and in a Jamaica, you know. That is what the whole objective of this thing is. The man them who they are foreign already, you know, who they are England and a big baller, you know. The man they now come to Jamaica to box food out and nobody mouth or do not like that. What they're doing is, well, England ain't gonna let me play, but I want to play football at a high level. I'm go with the country, my father birth, and I'm go do a play football. I know the money, because God knows then I ain't paying them. Sometimes they hear the news of the man who pay and then can't even get the money.
Yeah.
Then can't even get a good hotel. Somebody else have to come up with money to pay the hotel bill because whoever know have did all kind of nonsense. This nonsense, Kranky, has to stop. We are all Jamaicans, whether we live in England now or we live in America. And it's the same pretty much argument to the whole YouTube thing where you talk about, you know. You see, because you're not really too be owing to nobody down there, you know, look no work for nobody down there. If you talk your mind, nobody can pull your papers. They don't like that, you know. They don't like that you have that freedom, you know. Because you have no foreigner. You're foreign base. Your internet source, I don't have no control over you. This thing has to stop. It's all for the good of football. The internet, the YouTubers out there and everybody who's having their input and it really putting questions towards these guys, you need that. You need somebody to hold them feet to the fire. You need someone out there that can challenge these guys. I said, but wait there, you know, didn't you say that yesterday? How come you said this today? How come you pick this one? What is this? And them supposed to, because of a press conference. Answer. Make the people know your thoughts and you keep it moving. But, you know, Kranky, I don't know, that's why sometimes I think Jamaica football not really there at the level where they, you know, because I think that there's just forces. I just think that there's just forces within the community that even though they might want to see you excel, them really not doing the things for you to excel because of them inherent bias, you want to call it. Them hard feelings, them love for Jamaica. Maybe them like a man where I play for Waterhouse and them figure say the man from Chelsea I take him spot and, you know, take a food, maybe I'm a cousin, whatever I go on. But at the end of the day, sports is sports, football is football. We need to feel the best players that we have, that we can sign out there, wherever they come from, and put them on the squad. What going on with this whole Greenwood thing? You mentioned a thing, say Greenwood getting
the quote, and I said the quote, go listen to the interview, the coach, I saw him try to catch himself. Him say, Greenwood, I think what him said, I mean, me have it written down someplace. Him basically say Greenwood having papers, that's basically what I'm saying. Are him paper, either him have them, are them close, but his handlers are the ones, because him say Greenwood just focus on football, are the ones who sort of make the final decision about when him come or not. That's what me get it from him, I say. So
typical. You know, the agent, when it comes to agents have them own agenda.
Yep.
And players just, it's like if you go to your doctor office, doctor say, hey, and I collect the money, you know, I check it, but I get paid, you know, but him a pan it off, say, I'm administrator, I collect the money. Him not have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
The same thing. Let me tell you something with the Greenwood thing, and this is just my 2 cents. When he was in the little row with the whole thing we're going with him and him wife, girlfriend, baby mother, whatever go on, and him run a foul with the law, whatever was going on with that. He was taken off the short list for England, you know. England never go look for it because it's too much of a, you know, we hold out. We don't want that around English football. So he knew at that point that he didn't really have a chance to play for Mother England. But he want to play football, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm saying, you know something, let me go with Jamaica. Because them have run them go to France, you know. Nobody in England ever even want to pick him up. When the youth go to France and the youth start ball, score how much goal and Marseille, I say, yo, boy, this boy, you're bad. I know him start make the people tell everybody was like, yo, how come them say this guy is this and that? All of a sudden, no. Me hear say enough team in England now, you know. Want to bring him come back over England now, you know. So with that, is it that England now I say, hey, you know, Mr. Greenwood, we're like, sorry, bloke, you know, we're really considering you for a spot now. So now, it mean a quandary. Shoot, boy, should I go play for Jamaica even though I did have a commitment with them, man, there. But England, I call me, you know, I have a chance to go play with England, you know. What do I do? Hence the agent them come in. And the agent them could be the one saying, hey, Mason, hold on, slow down look a bit. Because if you can't play for England, remember, I know you did play with them junior team or whatever, I know you still not play with Jamaica yet, so you still hope to go with England. The youth in our country, but me now as an individual, when I say, you know, something England, when never did want me for a long time, you know, and come up with, because I know the whole of the racist boy, they come up with the thing to kind of knock me off of football. And all of a sudden, as soon as Jamaica want me, everybody want me now, who now run come. But kick rock somewhere, me I go play with Jamaica. That's what I would do. And if the coach of Jamaica have anything around him and him, I think him have a good solid argument and reasoning that him can approach Greenwood with. You understand?
Now, I get the sense, and people have said this, that he's engaged with Greenwood, but he, like everyone else, is subject to waiting for the papers to come through, and the final decision by Greenwood is contingent, so him just be patient like everybody else, right? My understanding is they're different people in different camps communicating different information. Some of my sources have dried up. Even though I haven't communicated anything that I shouldn't in the general public.
Man, I block you.
Yeah. Some of my sources have dried up for and I know why they have dried up, but it's okay. I'm fine with that. Because as you said, it's all good. I must still do my thing. But some of my sources have dried up. But my understanding is this, is that the kid wants to play for Jamaica. That's my last understanding that I got. Yeah. Man want to play for Jamaica.
I'm going to tell you that for me, I think that would be the right move that he would do. Because them ever saying the stone that the builder refused, we become the head cornerstone. Yeah. They never want my youth. I use, you know, because they know, say, you can go play for a next team and make them look like fool. And it's like my boy Sanders. The Sanders picnic. Right? That youth should have been picked number 2 or the second best quarterback in the NFL draft. But because I'm father and whatever else, the man, they make the boy go all the way down a 5th round till somebody finally pick him up. And now me hear say Cleveland is in a quandary because they're like, yo, this kid is really good. He might beat out the whole of the body. So now all of those teams that pass on him is like, man, what did we do? Look here, sports is sports, you know. Your talent will always come to the fore. You will always shine. If you're good, you're good. If you're not good, it goes show up on the field of play.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, man.
There is no 2 ways about it. It's either you can play or you can't play. So if Jamaica want to move forward, and this is a great opportunity for them because North America have the qualifiers or whatever, have the World Cup games. So Mexico, as we already know, Mexico, all of them teams, they get through Canada, US. So slot open for Jamaica get through. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's feel the best team that we can. Let's go there and go beat Guatemala and then like a butter team and just kick them round and just do what we do and win up the zone and go to World Cup and raise Jamaica flag high and put some light and spotlight for Jamaica. So hopefully, enough money them go get, you know, when time they make World Cup, you know, which go help build football at Jamaica, you know. That are the goal what JFF everybody supposed to look at.
All right, Carla. Appreciate it.
All of this nonsense. One more last thing before I go.
Yeah.
One last thing before I go. I know that you have to go. The man that I try to get rid of it out of this country. I need for my Jamaican people. I need for my Jamaican people to understand what's going on and act accordingly. Because them brother you're not joke.
Yeah, so just to touch upon that, I'm gonna try to get an immigration lawyer to come on at some point next 2 weeks. Well, no, I'm on vacation for next 2 weeks. But after that, I'm gonna bring one on to talk through some of what people need to consider, because you're right about that, which is it's not only us they're trying to get rid of. They're just trying to get rid of people, period. Right? So yeah.
Yes, this is not like the old days where you jaywalk and no. So we as a people who came here to help build this country, because Marcus Garvey, they come here now and Jamaica make them imprint on this land. So, you know, we have had a significant amount of influence on developing this country. We can't just mess it up so and make them a boy come in and things, and then when time them rewrite the book, then make it seem like say them alone do everything when time we did what we were supposed to do. Now, granted, not all of us are saints.
Right.
But let's act accordingly and let's not make them ship it all the way back home, go suffer.
All right, Carl. I appreciate it, Carl.
All right.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Stay blessed, my virgin. And remember, follow doctor's order. One love every time.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Bless up.
All right. Good call. Two good calls, people. Let me see. First, let me say this. No nonsense. Thanks a lot for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. And No Nonsense says, JFF seeks support from the diaspora with initiatives like a $10 subscription, but our kids are at a disadvantage because they insist on forcing local-born players in the team that aren't on the same level. So I hear this notion and this perspective. I saw Football Go writing it today, and I see I saw Maverick talk about this, the concept of balance. Now, I'm trying to look up the definition of balance, because balance in a football context to me suggests you make sure when you go forward, you're thinking defense, so you can make sure when you lose the ball and you get attacked, you are balanced from a structure standpoint. I didn't know balance in football meant I have to have an equal amount of individuals who are born locally versus those who are born overseas, but they're all citizens. I wonder where the balance was in that Morocco team that went to the semifinal of the World Cup. I am surprised. Why wasn't that Morocco team balanced and have equal amount of locally developed players, overseas players? The concept of balance, to me, is asinine in the context where it's being used by certain individuals. If we believe in life that we should function based on meritocracy, then if your citizens should have the rights and privileges afforded them to have the opportunities that your country provides. It cannot be the balance is where I was born, because that was the case. All of us who live outside the Jamaica, all the US citizens, if we were told that we need to have a balance in every job that we go to, and more Americans need to have the jobs than, say, people from other countries, because we have to have a balance about how that works, we would lose our minds. We would lose our minds. We would say it's against the Constitution. And by the way, people, it's against the Jamaica Constitution. What's being done, not proposed, what's being done. Go read the Jamaica Constitution. Go read the JFF Constitution, which talks about that it doesn't discriminate. And so we allow individuals in certain roles to make decisions with no accountability, and we just go along with it. And when YouTubers, like yours truly, call out certain things, we're told we're being divisive. We're told we're being toxic. We're told we're being anti-Jamaica. We're called all sort of names. And if we push back, it's taken as an affront to those who would want to approach us in a certain way. I live by my principles. I guess I'm going to die by my principles too, which is I believe in fairness. I believe in oneness, especially for people in life who have been disadvantaged throughout their entire, as a race. We can't be the ones who are then doing certain things which is contrary to what we support and espouse our entire life. That doesn't make any sense to anybody. At least it doesn't to me. It doesn't. So this concept of balance, which means I have to have a certain amount of local developed players, and not just JPL players. First of all, I have to have JPL players in the team. I see a lot of teams in world football that export their talent. Say South American teams, for example, who are picking players based on how well they play and their performance and their form. They're not using, well, you know what? You play locally versus you play overseas, so therefore I have to do X, Y, Z. I don't want to call out individual players and do comparison, though I have one on my thumbnail, because sometimes it's unfair to those kids. They don't pick themselves. But the people in the administration who are pushing certain things, and the coach he loved the comfort he gets from saying, I have 10 and 11, you see it's balanced. He loved that because he let him off the hook. Right? Then local media and the JFF will say, yes, he's a brilliant coach. He's a great coach because he's picking the people. But he's not allowing all the individuals who qualify for his team to be given the same opportunity. Amen. You said someone should ask him what does he mean by balance. We have had this so-called balance for the last 5 World Cup qualifying campaigns, where have this got a 70% local and 30%. Yeah, I mean, look, when you say you don't believe in balance, then people like Football Guru would say, and the Trace of would say, you're anti-local players. I've said this numerous times. If we have 24 local players in the team and they're good enough, that's the team. And the reverse, that's the team. And when you keep on putting players in the team who are not at the right level, they're going to be at the end of the bench. They get no playing time. You're not helping them because then they think they arrive. They think they've arrived, and they haven't arrived. And here's another thing, people. So many of you in the chat and otherwise beat these players who are young and say they want to play for England, for example, or they want to play for Canada or US, and you beat them, right? You beat them because you say them disrespect Jamaica, even though they're not born in Jamaica. So when they come, like a Mothersill and even a Hutchinson and some other players, I kind of marry those players. They go to the process trying to get citizen, which takes a long time. It's frustrating. I'm supposed to interview somebody to talk about what they're going through, what they've gone through now for maybe multiple years. I'll probably do it in the next 2 weeks about the process and how frustrating it is. When they basically says, you know what? I can't bother with this. I'm going to play for England on 21. We beat them and we give them a hard time. But we're not doing the reverse. Are doing it enough, actually. We can't be unfair to individuals and expect them to be loyal to us and to support us. Look, I've always said this. I'm a fan. I want to win. But I also understand players' perspective. I'm going to give you an example. When I've said this before, when De Bruyne is leaving Man City, because they say we don't want you anymore, I don't hear Man City fans crying because his performance has dropped. So if you wanted to leave like Trent is doing, why you keep booing him? Trent Alexander-Arnold is doing, why are you booing him? The unfairness of fans to me just makes me laugh. And that's why players should do what's best for themselves and their family. I may not like it when a player leave a club or leave a country. I don't want to play for a country. But I understand the rationale. Because people only think about themselves. They don't give a damn about the players. They only think about what's good for them and what makes them feel good. It is unfair for us to beat these youngsters. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Tyrese Hall and Johnson play for Ajax U team, right? They were supposed to be in this thing, and all of a sudden, things get messy. Things get messy. Now, I don't have all the specifics on this, but I can imagine what transpired. Those were the same 2 players who want to play in the under 20 who we pick on the 20 team. So this balance we talk about, Football Guru. Football Guru, where are you? Were we balanced with the under 20 team that got 15 love in 3 games in CONCACAF? Football Guru. Was that a balanced team? Because we want balanced people. The team that played Trinidad people in Jamaica twice and barely won one of the games in the last minute. We struggle against Trinidad with our local team. That's a fact. When we have our best 11 and Trinidad have their best 11, we're a better team. That's also a fact. We don't embrace, I've said some of these things. I repeat myself so much. That's why I probably need to take a break from YouTube, because I've said this. If you're Jewish, wherever in the world you are, you're a Jewish citizen. If you can trace your lineage to how far back you want to go, wherever you are, you're a Jewish citizen and you're embraced. Doesn't mean they're monolithic. Doesn't mean they don't disagree with each other, but you're Jewish. With us, it's totally different. Some people divide us, and we divide ourselves more than we get divided. So we end up with chaos. Right? We end up with chaos. And at the end of the day, my hope is that we'll get improved leadership. My hope is that we as a people will need to understand that together and as one, we are so much stronger than what we are today. We as Jamaicans actually have so much potential. And if you look at the Jamaicans who have migrated, so many of them have done so well because you know what? I always use Jamaican language. We don't take check. And we don't take restriction. We're going to do what we need to do to be successful. So many, whether they're Jamaicans born or Jamaican descendants, there is something, whether it's in the DNA or not, that says success is our birthright. And we're going to pursue it with vigor, with strength, with acumen to achieve it. And we're not take no check to get there. And nobody can restrict you to get there. That's why the brand is so strong globally. Our division, though, is amongst ourselves, which is unfortunate and frustrating. And when you hear people calling for why Mothersill is not in the team, if you're Mothersill people, let's go back to the football. If you're Mothersill, how do you feel today? Here's a comparative. Here's two comparative. You're a Mothersill and you're being compared to a Busy Atkinson, a Dixon. And the kids, I rate Dixon, right? I said Dixon's a good player. But you're playing in League One. Your stats stands on their own, right? Your stats even compared to Busy in the JPL. Let's go there. You're playing at a higher league and your stats are probably better than his in the JPL. And he gets in the team and you can't get in the team. And you now have enough papers to go there. Good night. Good night. Hello.
Yeah, blessed Kranky.
Blessings. Who am I speaking to?
Parish Council.
Parish Council, how are you doing? Your phone, I broke up now. What do you have to say?
Well, let me see if you can get some better. Me hear this. You hear me properly?
Yeah, man, I hear you, man.
Come on, me know you have this issue, this long-standing issue, and we can't tell you off the bat. I don't necessarily agree with your views, right?
Yeah.
But from a football perspective, in terms of the squad, how many more players you foresee getting an opportunity in this current squad of players that we have? At what point are we going to not to close the team, but solidify the team and identify a certain amount of players and say, well, these are the players we're going to take to the world?
So I am of the view that you should never have restriction on your team up until when FIFA decide that you can't submit players. And here is why, for a number of reasons. Players fall out of form. Players have situations that come up. Some players hit form at the right time. Some players emerge you didn't anticipate or expect. I don't hear England. I don't hear Brazil. I don't hear France. I don't hear any of Spain. None of those countries talk about we should have a cutoff on players because that's the thing to do. I've never heard that. So I'm not sure why we want to have a cutoff for Jamaica. We'll probably need as many players at the right level that they can get. This concept of cutoff comes, and part of underlying that cutoff is the whole local versus overseas. And I hear this being talked about in Jamaica quite a bit about chemistry and camaraderie and cutoff. It's international football. You want the best players in your team. I'll give you an example. Suppose some major EPL player who Jamaican heritage say, you know what, like a Dwight McNeil or Ramsey says, I want to come in, and this is now next year, May. You're going to say, no, you can't come in because you know what? This space is locked up by Palmer. We can't bring you in. I don't believe in that. If you believe you don't want him in the team, that's the coach's prerogative. But we shouldn't put a restriction on when a player can come into the team. I don't believe in that.
So basically, out of 23-man squad, then at any given time, we can say we can 10 of these existing players. Would that be beneficial to the team?
I don't think we'll have 10. Let's do that reasonable number. No, but don't use numbers which don't make any sense.
10 better players available. Are we going to incorporate them into the squad.
But I'm saying we want to use examples which are reasonable.
All right, I could say 6.
In fact, there may be 6 more players.
And
No. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you again. There may be 6 more players coming. There may be 6 more players coming.
All right, and right now you would be willing to replace 6 existing players with those new players and put them into the current squad.
So Carla, our parish council, your right back, your left back, another centre half, 2 or 3 midfielders, of course.
And then what are the probabilities of breaking the team because you have made such significant changes? That is also a factor, you know.
Yeah, and fair enough. But let me just say this about this, which is this. All those players we're talking about in that team play for their club teams. At any time they know they can be replaced. Especially the ones who play overseas. Ask Nicholson. He was in Russia. He's now in Mexico. At any point, somebody had better come in. Transfer window is up now. You know how much people coming in transfer window? You play for Real Madrid. You play left back or play right back. Trent's coming in. You're gone. There's wholesale changes in teams that's made all the time. So we should lock down now a year from the World Cup and says no new person in the team. Really?
No, that's why me asking if you have an
No. But I'm trying to make the point. I'm trying to make Parish Council is this. Go ahead, Parish Council. Go ahead.
At some point, we're going to have to identify not just the starting 11, not just the bench, but with squad, which would I say be 26 players. We have your provisional players as well, and as you say, injury stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have room for maybe say 3 top players who can enter the team at any given time, as I say, like a Greenwood. There will always be a place for Greenwood, and I would say even in the starting 11 because of his quality. But I think the issue where we have is a lot of the players that you guys mentioned, we don't see them as that crucial to the progression of the team to the point where they would warrant a starting 11 place.
And Parish Council, that's a fair point, right? Which what you're saying is this: look, unless a player is discernibly better, why should we bring him in? That's a fair question to ask. It's a fair question to ask.
It could affect, and we know, and me can't compare England, Brazil, and me talk about Jamaica.
Right.
We have a fragile squad in terms of it's very easy for the players to get distracted and this unity. And right now, from what I can see, it seems as if the unity, there's some cohesion in the connection with the players. It might not be reflected on the pitch.
Right.
But from what we can see on social media, which of course it can be, maybe them a trick, I don't know, but it appears to be a cohesion within the team. You understand? And we have to be mindful if we run the risk of breaking that cohesion.
Yeah, look, you make some...
Because of something and the man was a John the youth did promising I would drop a Dixon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, those are fair points and fair questions and fair comments. Can't dispute those. My response would be, though, is that here's what I have in Parish Council. So we get closer to the World Cup. So let's say we make the World Cup. Then you start looking at who you're going to play against. And you start looking at the players. And you're like, you know what? We could have had Ramsey. We could have Dwight McNeil, but we decided to restrict the team. But we can't compete against this team with who we have. You're going to run those scenarios. My view is this. The coach makes the decision. He needs to know what he wants. When I hear the coach talk, and go back to this Parish Council, when we play the US, to me, the coach walked away almost despondent when he looked at the difference in class, even though we had good players on the pitch, right? We looked outmatched, outclassed against a US team. We had the Baileys, we had the Gray, we had a number of good players on the field. The coach looked at the team and basically says, I need better players. That's why he went out recruiting. The recruiting, to me, has gotten better over time. And I don't think we can say, I'm going to cut off this point. You're right. You can't just chop and change 24/7. I don't think we'll get 10 more players in. That's why I was trying to cut that number down. But I would not be surprised if we have 4 to 6 more players coming.
4 to 6.
I wouldn't be surprised. Because here's what happens. So Parish Council is playing in the EPL. And Parish Council was waiting for England. And Parish Council, the vibes in Jamaica, them come to England and play, them looking good. And Parish Council, you know what? No, I don't know wait for England no more, man. I'm going to the team. And the coach says, oh, hell yeah, I could use Parish Council. he plays really well. And you know what? I'm not comfortable with what I have here. Do we say the coach shouldn't put the player in? Especially if the player is going to excite us, right? You may think it's unfair to the player who's been playing for the team and has been a starter, but we'd be a hypocrite if we say we should bring in a diaspora player to play at the expense of some local player who say we're at the right level, and we don't think the same for a diaspora player who may be in the midfield to replace by another diaspora player who think is better. That's the way I view it. I just want the best players in the team.
Well, for what me can say is whoever those 46 players are, them after they're at a level whereby there is no dispute, there is no debate. Because one thing, you know, even when we across the ball line here, so when him come on the pitch there and start that ball, you know all of that gone through the window in a Kranky. You know that. A lot of these players come here and we were very critical of them. And yeah, a lot of them not perform, but them do enough who say, yeah, you know, we can yeah.
That is true.
So we a lot of times what we see is, and me I speak on behalf of people who believe about the local player, because I am one of those persons. But I dispute that. But a lot of times what we see is players being hyped up, and when we see them on the pitch, we're like, me not see no big difference. You get to me and say, and that is heartbreaking for a lot of the fans.
Yeah, and let me say this.
In talent.
Yeah.
With the man who want to replace and hype up on you. Understand me? I'm
gonna give you an example, Parishka. I'm giving an example. No, but you make a good point. Let me give you an example. Holgate, for example, right? Holgate came in, didn't hit the ball off the cover, right? But he's new to the region. We watch him in the Unity Cup, and people are like, he looks like a good player, right? But we've seen Holgate play for Everton for years. So what is the real Holgate? Do we know who the real Holgate is? Is that the one we saw come play in Jamaica, or the one we saw play in Unity Cup? Which one is it? And how do we make that decision about whether he's good or better than Sia King, for example? How do we do that?
Well, I said personally, me would rather try with a struggling King than kind of Holgate.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I just bias and me not pretty it up. I hear you. A Cavaliers, and this is a player who is just the way you call it something, you know. Like a fantasy type of thing. You know them way?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Team get by a foreign. People love them story. Yeah. We cannot ignore the emotions behind football. It's not a AI thing.
Yeah.
Cannot be looked at as a transfer market, because sometimes I watch the YouTube space and it's all about speculation. Here we go, Fabrizio Romano thing, and it not give the international feeling there. It's more of a club type of vibe where the transfer market never closes. Jamaica transfer market never closes yet. Right.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
So me not welcome the ball of them, but me just say at a point we're going to have to say, yo, we have a space with 3 more top baller or 4 more top baller, and I hit that. And we work with things and we see where we can go.
I have a question for you. Suppose just hypothetical before you go. This is the last question for you. Suppose you says, you know what, I only have to save 3 more baller, and then later on, Ramsey from Villa and McNeil from Everton come in, who I rate very highly, by the way. Say, or if Mitchell from Crystal Palace say, you know what, I want to come in. Do you say no?
The Ramsey from Villa sound convincing.
What? I'm just saying. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? Which is
That's what me I thought about. Like a green or the if we go World Cup Saturday and a Friday, green and say more forward. You have to put him on the team. I think that good. You get to me?
I know what you're saying. They gotta be better, much better. They gotta be better.
For them good, don't necessarily jump for them. But a Ramsey from Villa, definitely, no doubt.
Okay, now I hear you. Good call, caller. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, bless up. That was Parish calling to people. With a good call, doesn't mean Parish calls nowadays. I agree, but it's a fair call, and Parish calls not meeting bias, because all of we have bias in people. If I'm meeting bias, it would prefer if we have a comparison between 2 players, 1 local, 1 diaspora, and they're close in talent. I don't really have a problem with that, to be honest, right? Because you got to make a decision, and you may have selected the local player before and he's in the team, and somebody's trying to come in and they can't show they're a better player. Why would you change it? You know what you have. But my frustration is we exclude certain players and we can't justify that exclusion. Or the coach give an explanation as to why he's playing somebody versus somebody and select someone versus somebody else. An explanation makes no sense. And I keep asking people, please go back and watch a press conference that he had more recently with Sportsmax. It was a good press conference. Not press conference, a good discussion. It was good. The questions they asked were the questions we asked. They got some answers which we didn't get. Right? Because we don't get them because we only get one question. We have no follow-up question. Good night.
Evening, Kranky. Evening. This is Jeremy, one of your favorite, most loyal subscriber.
All right, Jeremy, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. I want to tell you this. I recommend what you're doing and keep on what you're doing. I was just in a group a while ago with 5 persons we have chat. Few of them agree with you, few of them disagree with you. So I'm going to give you these 2 things to answer them on the list. And I'm going to tell you, right? So there was one that was saying that you are not genuine because at one point you and these people were friends.
Which people?
Federation, right? And because you don't get your way, you're calling about it now.
So Jeremy, before you go further, don't get my way about what?
You know, I don't know if you want position in the JFF or something like that, right? Because you and all them was friends. And I disagree with that. Let me tell you right away, I disagree with that. Let me make you answer that. Hold on. The next one now is a man that the Federation could do no wrong. And he called me and said, Johnny, what Jeremy, Mr. Officer Kranky, Mr. Officer Kranky, I don't like what's going on. And it might make sense. So your backside, now you start to see it now, right? So you do have some, on one hand, damn if you do, on the other one, you're damn if you don't. But you calling truth to power, sir. You've given us information. I know you do your research before you come on talk. And I agree with you. I like what you're doing. There's some who's not always going to feel that you're out there do it for a certain reason, right? But your true fans and know so what. You do your research before you go out there. And we applaud you for doing this. So keep on doing what you do, bro. Don't make people like Football Guru and them come here and distract you to talk the truth and do what you do, right? So now come off the ear and listen to you, but just keep on doing what you do. All right?
Jeremy, I appreciate the call, sir.
Yeah, man. Cool.
All right. So let me answer Jeremy's question about me having friends in the JFF and the fact that because I have an assumed certain position or been considered a position, so I am a disgruntled person who's on this forum and I'm beating the JFF. So let's address that. First of all, let me say this loud and clear so there's no ambiguity in my comment. I am retired. You know what retire mean? That means I now work for nobody. If I work, it's for myself. I actually lose money doing YouTube. Let me say this again. I actually lose money doing YouTube. I don't make no money off of YouTube because I don't have no big following, right? I not make no money. But I'm not working for anybody. I have not asked JFF for a job. They have not offered me a job. If they offered me a job, I would respectfully say, I appreciate the offer, but I have no plan to work for anyone. Right? I spent 30 plus years working in corporate. I did my time. If I was going to do anything, it's going to be entrepreneurial. It won't be working for anybody else. I am an advocate and supporter of Jamaica's football. I love the football. I love the country. It gives me all I have in terms of my formal education. I didn't go to college in Jamaica, but I went to college overseas. But I went to high school in Jamaica, Rusty's and KC. Best times in my life ever. Especially Rusty's. You must have KC, especially Rusty's. I love co-ed school, by the way. Love it. I grew up in a community in Lucy where people were family. They support each other. They love each other. The parent of the kids around us were also our parent. I used to be at the tail of them house. 7 boys, 1 girl. I live at the freedom yard, I live on my yard. Right? Point I'm trying to make is this. Jamaica has given me a lot, and I appreciate Jamaica. But I've also been frustrated by how some things in Jamaica operate. The nepotism, the way of not ensuring that people get position based. And I experienced it in high school, which also bothered me, that informed my view, which is when they had summer jobs, if you didn't have contacts, you couldn't get no job. You truly had no contacts, couldn't get no job. Couldn't get no job. And I've always remembered that when I was 15, 16, how that was happening. Some people get job, nice summer money, can buy what they want. Didn't have that opportunity. My view in life is the standards I have, the principles I have, how I live my life is informed by my growth, growing up with my great-grandmother and the people in my community. I didn't grow up with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who informed me as a person and give me and she was Christian to the core, give me the foundation for life, which I totally value throughout my career. I have left job in corporate because it goes against the integrity that I have and the honesty that I have. Right? I have done that. My view on life is this, is that when you give somebody an opportunity, are you being unfair to somebody else? Right? So when you give somebody local player an opportunity, are you unfair to a diaspora player who's also Jamaican? If you have a structure on a constitution which says all the citizens are treated equal, then treat them equal. Don't be partial to something. And if you live in America like I do, and you realize that racism is pervasive and some things on the surface seem a certain way, but they're different, you should have that view that I want to treat everybody fairly. We shouldn't be fighting amongst ourselves. We should be trying to help each other. This notion that Kranky is vexed with the JFF because they have some position that he wants, I don't even know how to answer that question. I supported the JFF when they were going up against Raymond and his team because I thought they were more qualified than Raymond's team, and I still think that. I was supportive when Chung came on board because I read his resume, his background, thought he could add value, which he did before he left. What I'm frustrated by is we have people in position of power who have been there forever, who will never leave, and in my view, they don't have the skill set to be effective in their role. And so I would be a hypocrite sitting here advocating for those individuals on those situations when I know better. I would be a hypocrite sitting here when people are conflicted and I call them out and people say, Kranky, you're being XYZ. I have nothing against those individuals. The individual I call out for his conflict is my first interview on my channel. I said this numerous times. I keep repeating myself. Sound like a broken record. He was great. He stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning and he gave my first interview and I appreciated it. But in the same vein, I said, I don't think you should play all these roles. It's not fair to the individuals. It doesn't look right. And in fact, fundamentally, it's not right. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. Kasafa called this out 4 years ago. Nobody did anything. Traditional media closed their eyes as if they can't see anything. How they live with themselves is beyond me. I have no hate for anyone. I don't even have hate for Football Guru, to be honest, even though he just frustrates the heck out of me. I want all the individuals on my channel who are here to support me. I love the support. Jason Guna thinks I am playing, what do you say I'm playing? Reverse psychology. Because I said if I don't get to 3,000 viewership by June 15, I have to make a decision. So we'll see when June 15 comes, Jason Guna, when I'm playing this game. Because my view is this. I don't want to beat my head against a wall. If I'm doing something and I can't be successful, I'm pivoting. I don't like to not be successful. I'm not used to failing at much things. And if I fail, I'm going to keep work harder. And if I realize that I'm overmatched and it's above me, I'm moving to something else. That's how I view life. Can't keep beating your head against a wall and you can't have no success. So my hope is that those who are part of my channel and part of my domain who support me, I appreciate you. Those who don't, you can't support everybody. I appreciate you also. I wish you the best. I hope you do well. I have nothing against people. But don't come here and say, 1 second, call out. Don't come here and say, Kranky looking for a job for the JFF. Let me say this for the last time so you can understand. If you don't speak English, me no want no job from the JFF. I don't want a job from the JFF. That's English and patois. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
This is determined Kranky. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Thanks for the show, man. It's always a pleasure listening to you on the road, right?
I hear you. So it sounds like you're driving. Why I get that trouble when I drive and talk at the same time?
No, all is well. This is what I do for a living. I'm a professional.
Oh, okay. You know what? Before you go further, I was driving in Atlanta yesterday for about an hour. And I said to myself, and I was with someone significant to me, I said to myself, I don't know how truck drivers do this. See, I was like, how the hell do you drive in these adverts? Because it was raining really hard. Couldn't see well. I don't know how that works.
One, you have to love it. Two, the money sort of forced you to love it. Right?
Yeah.
And then you get to dictate the money that you bring in.
Okay. So it's a money thing. So it's a money thing. It's a money thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you still, with all the money, you still have to drive for everybody else, right?
Right.
So, you always have to be alert. So, yeah.
Okay.
For me, it's a money thing, but still, it's a privilege to drive, right? And because not everybody can have a license, not everybody can have a CDL.
Right.
Understand? So you still have the responsibility that come with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Kranky. Two, I think it's parish council. I think that's his name.
Yes.
Two callers before. Okay. So
yeah, parish council.
Exactly. So let me start off with this first and see what you think. What do you think about the new appointment with the Gensec?
You know what? I don't like to make comments on individuals I don't have a lot of background on. I know he's been there for a while. I don't have a chance to look at his I don't know what his background is. I don't know what his resume is to inform him getting the position. What I did do a lot of research on Chunk. It was very obvious because Chunk is so prominent in Jamaican society. It was easy to get background information and data on him. I don't have the data on him. I don't know what the background. My assumption is he's going to be in some background in finance or something in that vein, because I think, given the nature of what the role entails, a key component of that is how you manage the resources of the JFF or you oversee that resources. So I don't know I don't know his background, so I can't comment on him per se until I do more research. Yeah,
I tried to Google him, but nothing came up.
And so he's supposed to be interim, so we don't know if he's going to be a permanent, because those interim sometimes turn into permanent. So it says interim, so we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. And yeah, I'm very concerned based on, the finances, the blood, the heart and beat of, for the Federation. And unfortunately, it's been in a rut, and Chunk took it out of the rut. And I just don't want to see it get back in, right?
Yeah.
Based on Chung leaving, hopefully whoever they bring in, it has to be on the same level or surpass Chung. Can't be below, right? Because of what we've been through since I was a kid to present with the purse string. Yep. That's one. Two, the caller said when it comes to Holgate, he was comparing Holgate and King, right?
Right.
So what I'll ask people is this: Kranky, you have a newborn, and would you rather your newborn stay with when you compare resumes to a babysitter that's been in the business for almost 20 years, 15 years, compared to someone that just started off? Who would you leave your kid with?
Well, it's probably going to be the more experienced person, right?
Exactly. With us, we just don't have the patience. That's one. Because you have a guy that comes in that is shell-shocked. I know he's wondering, what is he doing here, right? First game, and he's trying to adjust to everything. He's not used to this, right? But we just beat people for no reason. And you also have to look at, does this player fit with the team? Because, he could be a good player, but his style of what the coach wants, he just doesn't fit, right? So it's not just you looking at a player and thinking that you can match him up with King. It's unfair because this guy is very experienced, play at a high level. There's no way him and King can be in the same corner. It's just not possible. It's not possible. So these narratives, we need to stop, right? King needs to go out there and get his experience, get his education, everything about the game. Then he can compare. But don't do that, right? We should respect these players that come in. Hopefully these players fit in what the coach is trying to coach. And also they have to fit in with the pressure that we put on them, the climate, everything. So we have to take that in consideration.
Right.
That's all I have to say. Kranky, continue doing a good job. I appreciate your show.
All right. Appreciate you, sir. Be careful on those roads.
No problem.
All right, cool. So Lulu, how you doing, Lulu? I met Lulu in Texas. Good person. Lulu asked me this question, which I can't even answer. Kranky, what's your definition of success, YouTube success? Look, I think success? Well, I'm gonna answer that question, but I'm getting another call in. Good evening. Who am I speaking to? I think success. Wow. Hello.
Hey.
Who am I?
Yes. Okay. You're speaking to Basil.
Okay.
First time caller.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, sir.
Yes, all the way from Florida.
Aye.
But when I say why I even called is that I was hearing and talking about like Rossies and my early years, but was spent in Sandy Bay.
Awesome. Yep. Halfway between Montego Bay and Lucy.
Nice. So I still got like killing works, industrial training.
Yep.
That's that little area. Nice. So,
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the squad out. The squad, and I'm saying that it's less than 1 year for World Cup.
Right.
No, by now to me, and I'm speaking an old time person who deal with football a long time. I'm saying by now we should have a seasoned side, like people start to know each other. I don't see a cutoff point in getting players. It's like every day you get some players. Every day you get players. No time to start a jail a team. So it would have been like new players. And if you even look at the Unity Cup, you would see what I'm driving at is that there were so many new players there. So my point is, when will there be a cutoff point in saying this is it? We're going to work with what we have.
Right. Before you go further, Carl, let me just say this. The squad is pretty, I wouldn't call it setting up, but there's like a 15 to 18 that's regular. People don't seem to realize that. Let me give you an example. This current squad: Andre Blake, Dexter, Amari Bell, to a lesser extent, Hogan just came in, Pinnock, even King, Bailey, Palmer, Dixon, Gray, Davis, Hayden, Latti, Lowe, Cephas, Greg Lee, Jamali Waite. Those to me are regulars, right? Now you do have other players who are coming in somewhat new or rotate in and out, like a Romaro Williams, for example. But you have a lot of returning players. So it's not like we have a wholesale turnover. I understand what you and Paris Council are saying, which is, can we just keep rotating players? But I think when it's an upgrade, you have to be very careful not to restrict that upgrade. Because the coach, people don't realize this, the coach was dealt a certain hand, right? Certain number of players. The coach played the US and walked away with his head shaking, saying, what the hell? I was at the US game. I'm telling you, it was bad, like really bad. And he had some good players in his team. And it was still, it was almost like we were at sea. There was no comparison between the two teams. I think part of the problem was him and how he set the team up, but also the quality of play. And he walked away thinking he needs about 6-7 players, right? Now, and he went on a recruiting spree because he realized the team wasn't good enough. If he wanted to win, the team has to get better. Has he gotten to that point yet? It's still. That's why he's trying to push for the Greenwoods of the world. He still need better players. We're not anti any of the players in the team, but there are levels to the sport. And if you don't have a good enough team, you can't compete. Because international football is mainly around the players and maybe even less so about the coach. So I understand what you're saying and what Paris Council is saying. But my view is, if you have really good quality come in, you have to be careful not to restrict that quality.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Fine. But let me go to probably a schoolboy level. Let me go to a Rossi's team when Rossi's was on top. I at my house could call out the starting 11. You don't think so?
Well, you can do the same for Jamaica team,
No.
So let me call it starting 11. I can do that right now for you.
No,
you can. No, you can. You can.
I can. All right. Even. All right. Look at.
You can call 9 after 11. You can call 9 11 easily 9 after 11 easily.
Look at the Unity Cup. Look at the Unity Cup.
But no. Unity Cup was not the barometer to check, because Unity Cup was where I'm trying to figure out what players I should think about adding to my team. Trust me, Unity Cup was not the benchmark. The Gold Cup, the World Cup qualifiers, even though Pinnock is not here and Reed is not here and Antonio's not here, the Gold Cup is what you should use as a basis, because some players are coming from recovering from injury. If you look at your team, the Pinnock, the Lowe's, the Blakes, the Bells, the Haydens, the Bailey, the Gray, the Antonio, a lot of those players are almost like fixtures in that team. Will there be some shuffling here and there with maybe a Tyrese Campbell or a Holgate? Yeah, but you can name 8 players who are going to be constant.
Yeah, but that is what I'm saying now. I'm saying right no. You know, just a couple of months. And as a matter of fact, qualifying up on us right now, like no. I'm saying you look at a established team, you look at a Brazil team, you have to find that. No,
don't use Brazil, because they're not. No, use England for example. You think England have a very established team? You think England have an established team?
But the point I'm driving at, you would not find, you would start to look, Hurricane this one, Saka this one.
Right, true.
The point I'm driving at is that you are looking at the team right now, and it's not England team, it's not our team, but you are looking at England team, you're looking at a France team.
Let me stop for a second. Here's the problem we have in people. We don't seem to realize, right? Here's what we don't realize. England doesn't have the problem that we have. Brazil doesn't have the problem that we have. Germany doesn't have the problem that we have. None of those countries have a situation, and that's why the comparative is very hard. I think England team is going through a change whereby you have players with another citizenship, but they may convert to your country. Right? Think about it. I don't think any other country per capita in the world have a situation where you have so many players of descent of the country who can get their citizenship and play for the country, and those players may be better than what you have. You don't have that. How many players outside of England are born outside of England that you can bring in the England team, or the US team, or the Brazil team? Jamaica have a very unique situation. There may be some other countries like in the Caribbean who the countries that export human capital. Philippines basketball team, for example, Dominican Republic women's soccer team. If you export human capital, those are the ones can leverage that capital. Those industrialized countries, we use an example, don't export human capital enough to need to bring in to convert people's citizenship to then have them be available to play for their countries. They don't have that. So you gotta be careful about. Use Morocco as an example then, versus using one of those countries.
Morocco
had 16 players from the diaspora in their squad. 16, about 6 or 7 start.
Yes, but I am driving at. I'm not bashing that, But you know what I'm driving at.
Right.
All right. Fine. Let's say René Simons. You know that by now in the World Cup, by now in his time and the World Cup qualifying and so, me know this team. Me know the team.
Yeah, but again, we're going back 20-something years. Again, we didn't have this volume of players who wanted to think about converting citizenship to come play for us. We had 3 that came in, not to the normal channel, and then he added, but Ramon Simonis had added some players late in the process, Gale was added, Paul was added, Robbie Hur was added, right? You gotta think about it. What's his name? Sinclair was added. He brought a number of players late in the process. Right? Late in the process. Which
but by this time, you would have realized that the team is already structured and ready to go.
It was, yes. I mean, but here's the thing
by this time in the program, you would have realized that everything is set.
Right.
But here the deal about it. Why I put that why I say that is that the only change Simons make after the team gel and set. Because you cannot gel a team where 5 people play this week in a nice practice match, them look good, and next week you change up again and say, some man come in, you don't know them name. Yeah, I say, who is Borrell? Who is Russell? Who is this? Who is that? No, I am saying, if you are set in a position, because even now we are saying that the midfield is not, but the midfield can gel because you are 2 playing at this match, and the next window, see none of the midfield.
So I have a question for you, Carla. Will we be asking this question? Will we be asking this question if these were JPL players coming in? Would we be asking this question? So we brought in Busy Atkins. We brought in Brown. They're late in the process. Would we be asking those questions? We brought in Ming.
No, but
we brought in Ming is there. Brown is there. Busy Atkins is there. Would we be asking these same questions?
No. Okay. What I am saying is that it's time won't there be a cutoff point where we say enough is enough, and let's get these guys ready.
I think that's a coach's decision. I think the coach has to determine, does he think he has sufficient personnel to qualify for the World Cup and to do well when he gets to the World Cup?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a coach's decision. We shouldn't be upset and perturbed if he's making changes, because in his mind, he's probably thinking, I'm not where I need to be. Right? That's a coach's decision. And I think we have to realize the coach talks out of both sides of his mouth. But what I'm hearing him saying is that the players that he's been provided, he has to go get more players because they're not at the level he needs for him to be successful. And he's judged on performance. So he's judged on performance, So if they weren't, if he believes he has the right team, then fine. He's accountable. So I hear Carla.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, man. All right. So respect, man, respect. And I have to say, me listen. I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you as a person. All right. And yes, especially since they come from them. Oh, yes. So you know what I'm saying? Go.
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
All right. Bless up.
Yeah, man. Bless it.
All right. Yeah, people. By the way, if you go rusty during my time, best time ever. I'm telling you, best time ever. So you know what? We'll close on the program. Come there long enough. I've been here for 2 hours. I mean, go more than 2 hours. I'm gonna say this before I go. I'm gonna go back to what I started with, which is, I think YouTubers are being disrespected by the JFF. Not out in my mind. Access is given to certain personnel. Oh, Lord, I'm getting another call. I was planning to close down. This is 5 minutes, CB. What's up?
Good evening, Kranky. What's going on, man?
Good evening. How you doing?
Good. And as before we start, all the comments that I made on the Kranky show are just all left CB. So Kranky's not involved. Let's start there.
You don't want me to get sued for defamation.
No, we have to protect our interests. We have to protect our interests.
All right.
Yes. I'm sitting here tonight and I'm listening to all the comments, and I said, should I call in or shouldn't I call in? But I just wanted to make 2 points. One, if you're in an organization like the JFF, in my opinion, and you're based upon votes and to keep your position, you're trying to appease your constituents, you may push forward players that may not need to be pushed forward, but to keep your constituents happy, that could be something. Because sometimes I feel like we're barking at the moon. We have great ideas because we're in the diaspora and we know what good looks like, and we're trying to employ these kind of ideas on individuals and they can't see it. And then we get frustrated because we're saying, okay, put the best players on the field. And we're saying, okay, we know this player is good. He's playing at this level. And based upon the level that he's playing off, he should be playing a certain way. When you come to the Caribbean of not being in that environment for a long time, the sun is very hot. It beats down on you. So your first game may not be that great until you get yourself acclimated to the the football pitches, to the environment. And so you may not play your best. And then if the players come and they don't show out on day one, we deem them a bust, and therefore we must go with the local one, because if it's 50-50,
so CB, let me just cut in for 1 second and say this. You know what's bad about that, CB? So I hear somebody says, I got this view that Muddersill didn't play well in his 15 or 20 minutes from I don't know who said it, but apparently some people said it, who should be in a certain position, and therefore in already, right? And my view is if a player, as you're saying, plays all his life for last 10, 15 years and he's produced at a high level, and he come for a game or two and don't produce, and we just discard him, that's not fair.
But that's what they're doing. And I have a feeling that, and this is just my view again, that I think we look at people look at it like the Republican Party, in my opinion. So when the baby's unborn, we protect it. And as soon as the baby born, we don't care about it. When the player is in the JPL and they're playing, we want to sell them. And as soon as they go overseas, we forget about them. How many players have we exported that are playing in leagues that we tend to forget about those players until the fans them start quarrel and then we bring them back.
Yep. That's true.
So once we make the money off of them, forget about them. You know, God bless Dixon, because he's the only one that we keep calling back. And we can say, we support local kids because I want him to bulk up, and I think he has a great and bright future ahead. But the problem is he should be left alone to work at his club and learn the game, and then we call him back. But we're not doing that for everyone. We call the kid back all the time, and we're not giving anyone else a fair opportunity to show their skill. Okay. And that's just my opinion. Second point, this concept of we need to close the door so the team can gel. First things first. In the 90s, when we made it to the World Cup, football was different. Football was 4-4-2, whatever concept you were playing it at. It was a simpler game. The game has gone leaps and bounds. And I don't understand why we feel as if that we have progressed with football. No, we haven't. We need to get coaching at a certain level to progress because the game is different. I don't know how much people still play football with I play ball with Argentinians, I play with Ecuadorians. The game is different. The way they play football is way different. Them now shift. It's touch and move. This is in South America, touch and move. And we're still talking about shifting and pass ball and and kick down people. The game is so different. And I think we are not giving the opportunity for players to show that the game has moved, and we're still saying, boy, 1980 because the team did gel. If you have professionals coming in, I know I'm talking a lot, Kranky, not giving you a chance. When we have professionals come in, they are professional players. They're supposed to fit in. When you have a resume and you come to a job, we know that you may not know the culture here. That may take some time for you to gel, but at the most part, you know how football to play. Look at the Unity Cup. We had maybe two new forwards. They knew their job was to run behind players and finish and run into the box. We didn't have to teach that. They knew that based upon their training. So let's give people the opportunity. I'm looking at the list that you have up on the screen. We have 1994, 96. Those are becoming older players. We need to get young blood in because in the next 2 years, 1994 and 1996 are going to be 2 years older if we make it to World Cup. And people keep thinking like, I'll say this. I was just thinking about this. The coach have not played a lot of games against the elite of CONCACAF. He has played a couple of games, but he has played, and I'm no disrespecting under these teams, he has not played the US. He played the US and he got his thing handed to him. He hasn't played Canada much. He hasn't played Mexico much. He hasn't played Costa Rica much. He hasn't played the elite. What happens when we start to play the elite and we realize a lot of these players that we're arguing about cannot make the cut?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a great point you make. We struggle against St. Vincent. Let's see what happened against Guatemala. BVI should be an easy game, no matter what anyone wants to say, because they got beaten 3-0 by Dominica, who's not a very good team, even though we struggle with them. But let's see how we do against Guatemala.
Yeah,
and then hopefully we win and go to the next round.
Because because remember, we haven't started playing the cream of the crop yet. The coach have not come against them. The one time he came against the US destroyed us in Jamaica. We came to the US and them outrun us off the park. My little youth from New York FC can't see back the national team because of how they run past him.
Oh, yes, I know you're talking about, yes.
He cannot see back.
The right back.
Yeah. Him can't see back a deer in the national team. What happens when CFAS comes up against right backs who are just as fast as him and he can't beat them? We're going to say, boy, CFAS never good. We tend to be like so emotional based upon the minute that happens. So in other words, for now, CFAS runs something. I mean, CFAS not play good enough. let's give the body of work some more time, because when we start going up against elite players, elite defenders in top league, let's see how we have the same. Because remember, the coach have not seen the cream of the crop. We have not played the cream of the crop in the last 6 or 8 months.
Right.
Wait till we get to the second level and then we start playing better team, better coaching, better facilities. We will see. This concept is that we don't want local players. We want the best team. We want everybody. If a man a kick ball in a corner league and he's better than everybody on the island, put him on the stage. But if he's not up to level, he's just not. This idea of we selling a player so we can line our pockets. Jamaica needs to stop this. We need to come out of this hustler country mindset. We always hustle everybody, and everybody has come into our country and get riches out of it. We won't get into that conversation tonight, but everyone has come into our country and get riches out of it while we sit on a party and a hustle.
Yeah. No, look.
That's just my...
I appreciate the call, Stevie. I appreciate the call. Brilliant call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Right. That's CB people making some great points. And the point I've been making forever, which is it should be a meritocracy. It should be a meritocracy. Don't pick teams to have this so-called balance. Your balance should be how you balance your midfield forward and defenders, not how I have local born versus overseas. Last call of the evening. How you doing?
Kranky, blessing.
Who am I speaking to?
Boy, for you start the new program is the first I ever get in touch with you. Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain, how you doing?
Good. My 2 cents, I think I've seen many people might not agree with me, but I've seen a lot of improvement in the team.
Okay.
And also in the new players. I noticed there's a hunger from the new players that come in to prove that they're worth and they want to play for the national team. I've seen that, especially from the 2 striker up top.
Right.
What's his name? Burrell and the other guy?
Yeah. Burrell is in. Brown played against St. Vincent. Didn't play much last game. Burrell came in to play and played in both games, yeah.
And I see also Cephas look good.
Cephas look very good, yes.
I have one problem with him. I have one problem with him with his dribbling.
Okay.
He has a indecisive way of dribbling. I don't think he know when to dribble with his left or when to dribble with his right. But because he's so quick, he has been winning. But what I want him to do when the defender is close to him, I want him to have the ball. I want him to be standing in between the ball and the defender. You know what I mean? I don't want him to have the ball on the same side where the defender is, because if he's playing against some more experienced defenders, they're gonna win that ball all day. So I want him to try to dribble with the ball on the other foot when the defender is standing next to him, because that if the defender has to tackle him, he has to put his foot across, and that's gonna be a foul.
Yeah,
so that's the only that's the only problem I have with Cephas so far, but he has been doing good, and I appreciate the way he's been playing. Now, I hear a lot of people criticizing the coach, but the coach deserves some credit. And let me tell you where the coach deserves some credit, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me. This is the first time in a long while I see whenever we go up the flank and square the ball, we always have a player there. I don't know if you noticed that.
You mean player in the middle of the far post?
In the middle.
Okay.
Like we have players.
No, I think the coach talked about that, right? It's something that he's worked on.
We had player. This is the first time in a while I see that where we have players supporting the players coming up on the flank scoring the ball. This is the first time I've seen it.
Right.
We have a long way to go. We have more improvement that we need. We have more improvement what we need. But I'm glad some players are stepping up. I'm glad now players like Leon Bailey game is at risk. So now they're gonna have to come in and work if they want to play. We're not gonna pick players based on their name and what club they play for. No more. We don't want that.
So what you're saying is that we're having more competition for places. Real
yes,
competition.
I see that. Yeah, I see real competition now.
Yeah.
And I see. I don't know. I'm seeing it through the media. I see love. I see a little bit of love flowing through the team.
No.
Important.
I've been to the team's camp. Well, I haven't been there for the last. I didn't go to the St. Louis, but I was there in when was it? Last year. And there's the vibes in the camp is good. If you go watch them train,
you was in Dallas, right?
I was in Dallas. Yeah, the vibes is.
Let me tell you what happened. I was supposed to come to that game now, cause I lived in Dallas then. I just recently moved back to Florida.
Okay.
So I was supposed to come to that game, ticket and everything ready. A piece of diarrhea licked me, so I couldn't even bother come. Yeah, but no, serious thing, man. Serious thing. Everybody had I asked what room out in there, you know?
Yeah, I hear you, Blue Mountain. But no, it was a good environment. We go watch the team train, even though they kick us out after a little while. And I was telling people this. See the goal they scored against the US? It was done in training. Yeah. Same thing. Somebody threw the ball down the line, head over the far post. Greg Lead headed in. They practiced that in training. But then they closed out training to us, so not see, but we did see that component. So, and the vibes there's great vibes in the camp, to be honest. I don't see the vibes that we had. You know, years ago, there was clearly this difference between the local versus over. People together, they get along.
Mm-hmm.
They get along.
Right. I like that, man. I see the love. And I see, what's his name? Dixon. I see Dixon playing good because I'm not going to lie, you know. I am a... I'm not hearing you.
No, I'm listening.
So I see Dixon playing really good, but I need Dixon to step up because I need him to play beyond 60 minutes. Because after 60 minutes, it's like he's not in the game no more.
Well, I think part of it is that he works hard, right? He plays both ways. He works hard, and he puts the effort in. And when you put out the energy, then obviously you're gonna get tired. Some players take plays off. He doesn't take any play off. He's always running. So yeah.
I have another question. Maybe you can answer this. What's going on with the player named Kemar Roof?
I think he's out of sight, out of mind.
And here's the reason why I asked. I really think that player, we could use that player to play like an attacking midfielder. He plays like an attacking midfielder, man.
He's been injured a lot, though, to be honest. He's been injured a ton. From way back when, even before he came to us, he was injured. But he's now playing football again. But I don't know if he's been approached. But there's some players, not only Kemar, if you're not playing in a certain environment, or if you were a Diaspora player who has not been in the team for a while, you get forgotten. People will call out certain players, and once in a while people call out Roof, but most people just move on.
But we don't want that because I really think that guy could. I really think he moves around that here.
He's a good footballer.
Really well.
Yeah, but he's been injured. He's been injured a ton, though. He's been injured a ton.
But overall, I will keep it up still. I love how the team look right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can improve from here. I hear people say we haven't played any. I hear this guy that just called before me say we haven't played any of the elite yet. And it's true. It's true. But even playing the lesser known Caribbean teams, we wasn't playing good football. I am seeing signs of good football.
Well, I think we have this euphoria and this sense of revitalization based on the performance in the Unity Cup. The question is, the Unity Cup performance translate back to CONCACAF and how we look. So we have to wait and see, because I think we all walked away especially from the Nigeria game. I mean, people had some trepidation after the Trinidad game, given Trinidad didn't have their best team. But after the Nigeria game and how well we performed against them, and the fact that we tied at full time, you got more people feeling better about themselves and about the team and how we may be able to perform. So let's wait for the Guatemala game. I'm not spending a lot of time in the BVI game. There's a 7-goal difference we need to make up. But let's see what happens with the Guatemala game. Right. And we are at home, actually.
I think we're going to take it. I think we're going to take that Guatemala game easy.
Well, I hope so. For our sake.
All right, Kranky, blessings and respect. I've always been trying to call a show, but boys like your show too busy for man like me. Be too local for your show. No.
I hear you, sir. I hear you. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Blessings,
Yeah, man. Blessings. All right, keep that. Cool. All right, people. That I think is my last call for the evening. I appreciate all the call. I appreciate you being here. before you leave, if you can if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share the channel. It's been an interesting evening of discussion. I appreciate all the call and all the comments. I apologize for not getting through a number of the comments because I had my little soliloquy first, and then the calls came in. And, you know, people like Ketarakal, it's a long conversation. But I'm gonna close up by saying, because people saying, I see somebody named DW who seemed to be very negative on a lot of stuff, saying that very negative on stuff that come in. I said, jeez, I don't want to be rude. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Hello.
Good night. Hello.
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
Tommy from Canada.
All right, Tommy, how you doing? What do you have to say, Tommy? I say I was going to be the last call, but you're going to be the last call. What do you have to say? So, people, this is the last call, people. This is the last call. Go ahead, Tommy.
See, most of these Jamaicans should get a crash course
in what?
On modern football. In modern football.
Okay.
Educated football, 3 sessions, training sessions.
Okay.
And he will get it right.
So who are you talking about specifically?
No, who is saying they should have a cutoff and there is no synergy on all these things in the team.
Okay.
When you're educated, 3 sessions.
So you think 3 sessions can get you there regardless of for you to adapt easily to the team, you're saying?
Okay. Look at Burrell. Does he look like he was never playing with the team?
No, not in fact, not players. No. He looked like he fitted in. Yeah,
that's an educated player. He just followed the instruction what the coach gave to him. 1982. I think the game is still on YouTube. A pickup professional team from England came to Jamaica and give the national team 4 love. Pickup team.
Where was the team from? Oh, from England, you're saying? Okay.
England.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were all professional.
Right.
And what was his name? Not Ed Barnes. What's his name again?
John Barnes?
Not John Barnes was on the team.
Okay.
This not Ed Barnes. He used to read sports news on
Lindy De La Pena?
Lindy.
Okay.
And Lindy was telling everybody that's what professional does.
All right.
It's a pickup team. And give Jamaica 4 love.
Okay.
Yeah. They were playing from different. I think Regis was there and Bobby Isn't.
Yeah, Cyril was a very good footballer. Yeah. Jamaican heritage too. Yeah. He died of a heart attack, I think.
And this one from Tottenham Hotspur, what his name again? He used to play for Tottenham.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He used to read, I think, right wing for Tottenham. 4 love. The national team who was playing, who know each other.
Somebody in chat said it wasn't 4 love. I don't know what it was.
Go and look on YouTube.
Okay.
The game might be still on YouTube. It's 4 love. I was there.
The person that said what the score was, but he's saying it wasn't 4 love. I don't know what it was.
It was 4 love the national team got. That's my 2 cents.
All right, God, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. All right. All right, people, that's definitely my last call for the evening. First of all, again, I want to say thanks for being here. I'm going to go back to the theme of my discussion is about the unfair access given to local traditional media versus YouTubers as it comes to the coach or everyone else. The JFF will send out individuals to YouTube when they want to promote their product and use us, but not giving us equal access when it comes to things like the national coach. Whether you want to set something up where 2 or 3 YouTubers get to interview the coach, to me, that's fair. It's unfair for to treat YouTubers differently, right? That to me is not fair. It's unfair for some individuals locally to have this xenophobia in how they operate and to treat diaspora differently from when they treat locals, because we are all one as far as I'm concerned. I'll close up by saying thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Hope you have a wonderful evening. I am gonna miss the game on Saturday because I'll either be in the 8. Well, you know what? I may not miss the game actually. I hope whatever plane I'm on, you guys know how much I love to fly, has Wi-Fi so I can watch the game I want to watch, but I may miss the BVI game. But I do want to see that game and see how we play. And I'll definitely be watching the Guatemala game. So hopefully we do well for the BVI game, and then we blow away Guatemala, and we can all relax. And given our point standing, which Jason Guna did brilliant today of walking through where we are from a point standpoint, if we win the next 2 games, we'll be in a zone where we avoid Costa Rica and Panama, because that's the goal, that's the objective, and we need to do that. And if we do that, we will have some good teams in our zone, but we should, if we play up to our potential and have the best team, be able to then play through and qualify, hopefully. All right? So everyone, again, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. And have a wonderful evening. Peace out. Kranky life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, till them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the coast to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, till them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my Kranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Till them, Kranky life. Heed them, Kranky life. Want them, Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky life. Me say fi heed them Kranky life. On them Kranky life. Kranky life will be around. Kranky life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them, Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed, want, heed them.